and welcome to the Cynthia Nyamai Show. I'm so glad that you are able to join me today. Today we'll be speaking about pain. And even when I mention that word, my body is uncomfortable. I think we were not built for pain. A lot of times when we feel pain, we'll quickly run for a painkiller. A lot of times people also abuse drugs and alcohol trying to run away from pain. But it seems like pain is a constant in our life. What is the reason for pain? Our guest today is going to share about a painful time in his life and how he was able to find his purpose in that pain. Coming up shortly. Daniel Mutheki, thank you so much for joining us today. Let me take you back to 2016. You open your eyes, you're in a hospital. You're not planning, for your wedding that was meant to happen. Instead, you're bedridden, you can't do anything for yourself. What were your first thoughts when your eyes opened?
Why me?
Yeah.
Why me? Trying to understand at what point did I get here? I grew up in a family where my mom and dad had taken us to church. So I thought I had the right background. I thought I wasn't a bad person in life.
Yes.
So the questions were more than the answers at that point.
Yeah.
And
I like that. We think we have the rights. Rights to happiness, to a good life and everything. We've done the work.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I've done the work.
Yes.
I've gone to school, I've gone to the right school, I've gone to church once in a while.
Yeah.
My mom is prayerful, I pray sometimes.
Yes.
And so my questions were more than answers.
Yeah.
God, why? Why am I here? And when the doctor said that I was paralyzed, now that was a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. How even before the doctor says you're paralyzed, how do you realize you're paralyzed? How does your body change and then you notice something is not?
Because my mind was trying to do things.
Yeah.
My body wasn't responding.
Wow, that's frustrating.
That is super frustrating. Because I remember I told my fiancé then I couldn't feel my legs.
Yeah.
Okay? So I couldn't feel my legs, I couldn't feel my arms, I couldn't move.
Yeah.
So I'm asking her, babe, am I fine? What's all this?
Yeah.
So basically, Cynthia, the questions were more than the answers at that point.
Yeah. I'm still trying to imagine myself full of life, planning my wedding, and then suddenly I'm in bed and I can do nothing for myself. Which one thing can you recall that really hit home and was very painful when you couldn't do anything for yourself?
Wow. Because I remember we'd made plans. We'd checked out costs of what it would be. And the way you always think, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Now here comes a time when you cannot do it tomorrow. You have no control. So I think, Cynthia, what really hurt me most was the loss of control.
Yeah.
The loss of control of my life, which I thought I was in control.
Yeah.
And the questions of, will there be a wedding?
Yeah.
Will she remain with me?
Exactly.
You get?
Yeah.
Because I'm asking guys to give me a mirror. I want to see how I look. No one is willing to give me a mirror.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, okay, what have I damaged? Will there be a wedding even after this?
Yes.
And so you get so lost in that dark space of asking questions that are so retrogressive, actually, because they just get you lower and lower and lower, and you get completely lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so did she stay? Did she keep on loving you?
That's my baby now. She stayed.
Yeah.
She stayed.
Yeah.
She stayed. She did amazing things for me.
What are some of the things that she did for you?
I remember the first encounter was after I'd stayed in hospital for a minute.
Yeah.
I hadn't got the chance to brush my teeth. So, because I was paralyzed.
Yeah.
So I couldn't move.
Yeah.
So she came and told me, hey, babe, we need to brush this teeth.
Yeah.
So she went, took a toothbrush and brushed my teeth.
Yeah.
But now, because I can't move,
Yes. and spit out.
and spit out,
Yeah.
or even turn my neck and spit on the side,
Yeah.
the only option was suction. It has to be pulled out.
Yes.
And so she did that with her own mouth.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she'd pull it with her own mouth, spit it on the sink. There was a sink right there in Nairobi Hospital.
Yeah.
Then take water, take it in, give it to me. I gargle, I give it back to her.
Wow.
My wife did that for months. That's how she used to.
For me now, that's redefined love. How I define love.
She did that. My mom actually walked in, because my mom used to wait for her outside.
Yes, yes.
So she'd wait for her and she's like, hey, today Pesh is really late. What's happening? So she walked in and found that happening. And she couldn't believe her eyes. Because she told her, even I cannot do this.
Yeah.
Even for me, it's difficult.
Yeah.
A mother.
Yes.
And this is someone who I have no blood ties with.
Wow.
It's just a love that is heaven sent. She washed me.
Yes.
You know, when you're paralyzed, you lose a lot of your ability
Yeah.
to control your bowel and all those things. So sometimes she'd come home and find I've messed myself in bed.
Yeah.
And she'll clean me, she'll wash the clothes, she'll do all those things.
Wow. Okay, I want to take a short break. When we come back, I want to talk about, you know, that loss of control, what it actually, how it made you as a man feel, having to be bathed, having to even have someone brush your teeth. And then also I want to talk a little bit about that encounter with God.
Absolutely.
When we come back after this, we are going to talk a little bit more about his experience in hospital to the man he is today, inspiring millions all over the world. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. You know, my head is still spinning. I'm still trying to figure out how, you know, Daniel, you had someone help you brush your teeth. And I'm also wondering if it was the other way around, would you have done it for Pesh? I've already caught her name, it's Pesh.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd have done the same thing, have, you know, brush her teeth and you know, bathed her and still be that patient waiting for her to recover?
You know, hindsight is obviously a very, we learn a lot in hindsight.
Yes.
But I think one thing I came to understand about relationships, it's very important that your foundation is right.
Yeah.
If you look at a building that was being built in Upper Hill, I don't know if it's still going on, the Pinnacle, they have dug quite a deep foundation.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the structure they want to put on top of that. And so when your foundation is right in a relationship, then it can wither a lot of storms.
Yes.
So I want to believe that we had formed a foundation that, with the help of God,
Yeah.
I probably would have been able to maybe not do all she did,
Yes.
but probably, hopefully, I would have been able to stand there with her as well
Yes.
during her difficult time.
Yes.
Yes.
Take me through, you know, the things that you learned out of being that vulnerable in a space where you can't even control hand movement or anything in your life. And one of the things I say is, you know, sometimes we think we are being broken, but we are actually being broken open.
You know, as a man, we have a lot of... A man is someone who feels to be in control.
Yes.
And so the moment...
It's almost like even a measure of a man. You
Absolutely.
know? He's in control, he's in charge, that's a real man.
Thank you.
Yes.
And sometimes as men, we lose control. Could be in your business, could be in your family, could be in any situation you're in.
Yes.
And so we lose control sometimes. And that throws you off completely.
Yeah.
But now I lost control of my own bodily functions. You know, Cynthia was being watched by trainees, young girls,
Yeah.
who are training at Nairobi Hospital.
So
in
bath
fact,
time was not something
in
you
fact,
were
at the
looking
time I didn't
forward
want to shower.
Yeah.
I was actually not keen on it.
Yeah.
But slowly I just, what do I do? I need to get clean.
Yeah.
So they'd come, pick me, take me to the shower, strip naked, they wash me. So that really broke me.
Yeah.
It broke me down. And my questions became deeper and deeper.
Yes.
And finally I was able to ask the right person the questions.
Yes.
God, why am I
Yeah.
going through this. Because as you said, sometimes in life, we're being broken down, but truly we're being broken open.
Yes.
Sometimes you must go through fire that will get you out the other side better.
Yeah. And I like what you've said, you know, as we're being broken down and going through fire, it forces us to ask deeper and deeper questions.
Absolutely.
Did you receive deeper and deeper answers?
I did. I did. God is good. I moved out of HDU after probably 3 weeks. And I was moved to St. George's ward. I remember bed number 6.
Wow.
I won't forget. That first night, Cynthia, I got my answers. Because I was laying in bed and I had a voice speak to me that told me, Daniel, now you're not too busy for me.
Wow.
I was like, okay. There's nobody here.
Yes.
Daniel, now you're not too busy for me.
So here is God telling you, and that moment feels very good, you know, that I will take care of you. Come the next morning and someone still has to bathe you and do all these things. Has that conversation with God and your understanding also then changed your perception of life? Because a lot of times people expect when you have that, immediately then I should have control of my life, I should receive instant healing.
I should be checking out of hospital.
Yes, but there is a process. So next morning and somebody in turn still have to bathe you.
Actually, the funny thing is, I came to a realization that, Cynthia, man is not just what you see. This is a suit of flesh. There's man, the spirit. That's who God spoke to. My flesh still wants things to be done immediately. But now God was speaking to my spirit man. What has happened to a lot of us? At birth, children are born with their spirit and flesh being almost at par. Okay? That's why children sometimes you feel have an instinct that is beyond understanding, a mother-child instinct. But as we grow, we are taught to believe that it only is if you see it. It only is if you can touch it and if you can hear it. So we believe what we touch. And so by that time in hospital, Cynthia, my spirit man was in ICU with me. He was weak and could do nothing. And so God had to feed the spirit man so that we can overcome the desires of the flesh. The flesh is that which wants to check out the next day. The spirit understands God works with a process. This might not work immediately, but Daniel, you will see it come to light. And so the problem with most of us today is we have become an instant gratification society where we've lost touch with long-term gratification. We want instant success. If I ask you for a cup of tea now, microwave 2 minutes. I've got my cup of tea. If I ask you for a dinner meal, Uber Eats, quickly they've delivered. That's the kind of people we've become. But we have to realize that things have to be built. There's a process. I learned patience. That season taught me patience. It was an academy of patience. It was an academy of humility. It was an academy of trust. Fully trusting and depending on God.
From what I'm hearing, it's almost like you found yourself, you found your purpose. And I want to get into that, what you realized about yourself. Why did God bring you into this earth? We're taking a short break, and even as we get into a break, just think about it. Sometimes we go through very difficult situations and painful situations, just as Daniel has shared about his hospital experience and his accident experience. But sometimes we actually find our purpose through pain. We'll discuss that more shortly after this break. Welcome back. This is a show where you need a notebook and a pen. I'm making mental notes right now. I've realized sometimes when we are in pain, we also have a deeper, compassion even for people. So did you notice that, some things have changed about you, how you see people, how you even see their weaknesses as you were even going around in hospitals speaking to them? Did you begin to have a deeper understanding of people and their needs?
It's very unfortunate that we say, unless you know how tight the shoe fits, then you can never have empathy for other people.
Yeah.
And Cynthia also said it's so true. Going through that pain, going through that season I went through, created an understanding for others.
Yeah.
So my empathy levels went high. Because you see somebody, at least I didn't have broken.
Yeah.
As in I didn't have a broken leg, I still had my arms, I had everything intact.
Yeah.
But the people you're talking to have probably been amputated.
Yeah.
And so you just learn to tell God, wow, thank you for what I have.
Yeah.
Because we grow up being taught to look up to people who have it all. But we forget to look at those who don't have so that we appreciate.
Yeah.
You can never be a person with gratitude if all you do is look up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you must learn to look down. You've had 3 meals today.
Yeah.
There's one who hasn't had a meal.
That's true.
Say thank you. Okay? I was paralyzed. I'm okay now. There are those who've never walked. Say thank you. And so God also enabled me to understand that people are going through situations. And it's important that we have a heart for them, a care for them.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times also when we're going through a difficult situation, it helps a lot when we go out there and help others instead of just focusing on I'm in a wheelchair, I'm useless.
Cynthia, man, that is a defeatist mentality.
Yeah.
Okay? When you think me. There's a video I actually did, and I've realized selfishness has become a key ingredient in our society today.
Yes.
Everybody thinks about themselves. All right? But it's very important that we get out of that and consider other people.
Yeah. You probably had a different idea when you were first proposing to Pesh. Now here is a second chance of redefining what marriage is for you. What were the key things that you learned then, even as you, I don't know if you proposed again. Did you propose again? Did it feel like now you have a clear vision of what marriage, because I tend to feel like a lot of times people enter into marriage simply because they are in love and we are called by society to marry and have children. But every marriage should have a purpose, and a purpose aligned to the purpose that you discovered of yourself. And I like that you said also Pesh had already bought into that purpose way before.
Way before me.
Yes. So how did that now change for you? Tell us if you
so
asked her again.
I didn't propose again.
Okay.
Due to economic factors.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, no, I didn't propose again.
Yeah.
But
did you have now a different vision of what you were?
My vows were no longer just vows.
Okay.
You know when people say for better and for worse?
Yes.
It's a statement.
Yeah.
You just say and you move on. For me, it actually meant for better and for worse.
Yeah.
It meant all that and more. And I realized I'm not marrying Pesh for her ability to give me children.
Yes.
I'm not marrying her because society has said I should. At my age, I was about 30-something. That wasn't it. I was marrying her because this is the person I wanted to walk this journey of life with, through the ups and through the downs.
Yeah. Wow. A lot of unlearning and learning.
Yes.
So having said that, one of the things that when people talk about marriage, they say God hates divorce. It's one of the biggest things in churches, and people are not even allowed to hold offices sometimes because they've gone through a divorce. From your unlearning, what's your understanding of that verse, and even the way you've said there are some marriages God has not put together?
I started by saying one of the most important things you can ever do is foundation.
Yes.
Okay? Remember the story of the builders in the Bible. 2 builders.
Yes.
One built his home on rock. Solid foundation.
Yeah.
The other built his home on sand. I'm sure they all had housewarmings
Yeah.
and invited guys to come and have a party.
Yeah.
However, when the challenges hit, that which was built on solid rock stood the test of time.
Yeah.
The one that was built on sand quickly crumbled.
Yeah.
And so when the foundation is questionable, when those pillars do not stand to be truth,
Yes.
loyalty, honor, respect, when society speaks and says, yes, men cheat as long as I don't know, how do you accept such lies?
Yes.
Why would you accept that? Why would a lady accept to be Mike Landy?
Yeah.
You deserve better. You deserve your own person.
Yes.
And so divorce to me is the fire. And that's why I tell people, don't invest on firefighting equipment.
Yes.
It's expensive.
Yes.
Because guess what? There's damage already.
Yeah.
Invest in fire prevention.
Exactly.
And so as long as our society continues on how it's going, selfishness, wrong foundations, wrong pillars, divorce is inevitable.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell some people, probably you're single because you've avoided your first divorce.
Yeah. Tell me, what do you think is purpose of pain? Right now, people are going through a difficult situation because of COVID. Different situations, different challenges. But it seems like you were able to turn your pain into a testimony and a life-changing process. What is the importance of pain?
Now, unfortunately, the human mind, how it's structured, unless it is shaken out of its comfort zone, then it's not willing to move forward.
Yes.
Unless there is a crisis in your life, there's no growth.
Yeah.
And sometimes that comes with pain. Nothing worthwhile was ever invented when there was no crisis.
Yeah.
A crisis allows us to think outside our comfort zone.
Ask those deep questions.
Ask those deep questions.
Yes.
So we must remember that the pain in your life is not there to destroy you.
Yes.
It's there to build you.
Wow.
It's there to reshape you.
That's a good place to end it.
Absolutely.
The pain in my life is there to build me.
Absolutely.
We could continue and go on, but unfortunately we don't have time. But I like how my guest today started. He was in pain and he was asking himself, why me, why me? And sometimes that is what we do. We ask ourselves, why me? But maybe it's time for you to realize, just as he did, that pain is not there to destroy you. It is actually there to build you, to make you, to build your character, and even for some of us to finally realize our purpose. Today, it's been raw, it's been real. Expect the same next week, same time. This is the Cynthia Nyamai Show.